It's Miss Keita, baby. Hey, y'all. Today I'm going to show you how I made some chimichurri marinated steak. All right. I went ahead. This is a Bobby Flay chimichurri recipe that I followed, and I strongly recommend you guys give it a try. It is a game changer if you've never had it before. Let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm going to start off working with some fresh herbs. I'm using oregano. I'm just going to peel it off of the stem, and I'm going to put about half a cup of these oregano leaves into my food processor. Again, when you're working with fresh ingredients, you want to make sure to rinse them clean and try to remove as much excess water as you can. Now I'm going to go ahead and start chopping up my flat leaf Italian parsley. All right, you basically just want to roll it or bunch it up and then just begin to cut it. I'm not gonna cut it too fine because, again, I am placing this in my food processor, so I'm gonna let the food processor do what it's supposed to do. All right, so you want to cut about a cup. It depends on how much you're making. If you want to make more, then just double your measurements, okay? But I'm using a cup here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add about a 1/4 cup of red wine vinegar to this mix, and then I am going to add a 1/2 cup of canola oil. Bobby Flay's recipe, he used canola oil. However, you can also use olive oil if you prefer. All right, I know it's a healthier oil, so do what you do. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a teaspoon of red pepper flakes and a teaspoon of regular kosher salt, and I'm gonna end it with a teaspoon of black pepper. I did forget to record when I was doing my garlic cloves, but I use fresh garlic cloves. I use about 8 garlic cloves for this recipe, as you can see in my food processor right there. All right, y'all. So I didn't get that apart on camera, so just take my word for it. Now that you have everything in your food processor, you want to go ahead and chop it up, get it to a real nice consistency, and that's how it should look. Go ahead and sneak you a taste. Make sure your flavors are there. And once you're satisfied, let's move on to seasoning our steak. I have a skirt steak here, and I'm just going to add salt and pepper because there's so much flavor in this chimichurri sauce. I don't need to add any additional seasoning to the steak. So just keep it simple or do whatever you want to, but I'm just doing salt and pepper here. You want to get it on the front and the back. Now, this steak was pretty fatty. I tried to remove as much fat as I could without, cutting my meat. And so this is as good as it got, y'all. It wasn't the best selection, but that's kind of what the store had left, y'all. So we're gonna work with what we have, okay? It was still good. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and grab me a gallon Ziploc freezer bag, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the steak in there, pour my marinade on there. And I did this the night before I actually made the steak, so it marinated for a few hours, y'all. Now, anytime you're marinating something, if you're short for time and you're doing it all in the same day, at the minimum, marinate your meat for about an hour at the minimum. All right, and you should be good. You just want to go ahead and make sure that the chimichurri marinated is kind of, touching the steak. All right, so now I'm going to attempt using my griddle, y'all. I wanted some grill marks on this, so I tried to use my griddle. I never used this thing, and the steak came out really good, but I do see where I can do better. I just got to really figure out the right temperatures without burning things and really kind of master this griddle. So I'll use it more often for future, just so I can get better at it. But you want to cook this steak on about 4 minutes on each side. My husband likes medium well, so he likes it to be pink but not bloody. And so about 4 minutes on each side, and you should be good. It should give you that perfect medium well. Also, I forgot to mention, anytime you're marinating something, when you take your steak out, you want to take your steak out the fridge and let it get room temperature before you add it to a hot skillet or griddle or grill. Okay. So that way it cooks evenly and it doesn't cook on the outside and then it's cold and undercooked on the inside. Okay. So just a little tip there. Now, again, I always say anytime you're cooking meat, doesn't matter what protein it is, let your meat rest before you cut into it. Let it rest for about a good 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. So that it keeps all the juices and it doesn't dry out. All right. But this is just a close up of how it looks, y'all. I wish I could have got a little bit more grill marks on it. I did not want to overcook it. And so there it is, chimichurri marinated steak. Typically you put the sauce, you will make a steak and then just kind of put the sauce on top of the steak. However, I wanted to try it marinated. I did ask my husband, like, let me just drizzle a little bit on top, but he mentioned that it was already so full of flavor. He didn't want any more chimichurri sauce on top. It was good how it was, y'all. So that's why I didn't drizzle it on top, but future videos, I will do that. Go ahead and pair it with some roasted potatoes, y'all. And I'm telling y'all, this is a game changer. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to click subscribe, like, and comment on my channel. Until next time, I will see y'all.